Hello guys, it's your sweetheart Becky, popularly known as Phil Bake. In fact, can Nigeria ever conduct a free and fair election without any complaint? Answer. Maybe I should leave this question for you to answer. Alright, after the whole story about the amendment of bill concerning the electronic method of voting, of which partially was amended and was signed, which Nigerians are not still happy about after the whole protest and everything. And they're like, okay, Abuja council election should be a taste of electoral process to know if Nigeria can ever conduct an election that is free and fair, without complaint, without anybody saying anything negative. My people, what do you think is the answer? I was astonished yesterday, trying to follow up to see how, now we'll still follow up. Nigeria is our country, we have nowhere to go. So like, okay, let's see how this goes. But as usual, I'm disappointed as well as others. I'm disappointed. We were expecting, okay, this one will go well and everything. But imagine, okay, let me just start pointing some loopholes, some activity that happened that made us to start questioning if Nigeria cannot conduct a local council election free and fair without any complaint. Then what about the biggest one, the presidential election? You understand? I don't know if you are getting me. If you cannot conduct this one, what about the biggest one? All right. From yesterday's election, what I gathered was that there was a low turnout. When I heard it, I said, what do you expect? Nigerians are beginning to be tired. They are beginning to be filled up to like, coming out to vote. Most times a vote does not count. So why should I come out? No, I'm not saying no, what happened at last election, you understand? So Nigerians are beginning to filled up, you understand? So that's enthusiasm is no longer there, coming out again to vote. So yesterday's council election in FCT was not it at all, because its turnout was very, very low. Very, very low. In fact, I was shocked myself. All right, let's watch this video clip.
At the Cairo Junior Secondary School, INEC officials arrived on time, and when it was time to begin accreditation and voting, very few voters were on the ground for the exercise. The situation.
Okay, we're also going to be looking at voters register was not deployed. Voters register. Imagine the INEC official has come, to start doing the voting process, and a voter register was not deployed. Voter register is what's the right on to know how many persons that came there to vote and other things. It was not there. So the voters started to say, no, we are not going to do anything. This process is not going through except we have the voters register. After much agitation, I don't know where the voters register came from. Before you knew it, voters register that they said were not there came out. Whether they vanished, I can't tell, my people. Let's watch the clip. Now look as if I'm just talking.
The voter register was not initially deployed until voters raised concerns and voters objected in some polling units, and we provided at least in one polling unit.
All right, there were also delay in deployment of personnel. Imagine, elections supposed to start 8 or 9. No, deployment personnel need to come, like the INEC personnel need to come. There was delay. I'm just talking about council election. We are not yet talking about presidential election. There was delay in deployment of personnel, deployment of election materials. You understand? There was delay. So what is all this? What is the cause of this delay? My people, I leave that question to answer.
Adversely affected timely commencement of elections, particularly in the Abuja Municipal Area Council and AMAC, where delays in the deployment of personnel and materials contributed to late opening.
That wasn't enough. There was also, change in some people's polling units. Change in some people's polling units. People that suppose that they know that, okay, this is where they registered, this is where they're supposed to vote. They just carry their information and everything to another place without the knowing of these people, without the knowing of these eligible voters that are supposed to vote. They carry their information to another place. I learned that it was some people got that information as they were there, already there in where they are supposed to originally vote, and some got it later. They started sending information. In fact, what do you think? I'm being bothered right now, because if we cannot handle this council election in just FCT only, how can we handle the presidential election, my people? So they don't even know. They were like confused. They will come to this side. Some after going from to and fro, they will go back. They get discouraged and go back to their houses. That is one area not allowing these people to vote. You understand this whole thing? Okay, let's watch the video. So I think as if I'm just talking because I want to talk.
When voting eventually commenced, some voters had challenges finding their polling units.
I ain't supposed to put somebody who will direct people. A, B, based on son.
All right, another thing again that I gathered was that, normally the election is supposed to start by 8 or 9, then close by 2:30. It was gathered that despite that, changes on people's polling units that will make them to delay, probably not to locate where they're supposed to cast their vote on time, this I close before 2:30. Because the law says they have to stay there till 2:30 or after 2:30 till, if there are still people on queue, till those people on queue have finished voting. That is where they can leave. But in this case yesterday, people, before 2:30, the INEC official has already packed their bag and left. So that means probably people that did not get their polling booth on time because of, lack of information and unaware that the place has changed, will not be able to vote.
Before the official 2:30 p.m., while some polling units experienced poor voter participation, the guidelines require that the polling units should remain open until 2.
Then I begin to wonder, what is really the problem? Is it that there is an invisible hand that is trying to make sure this election is not free and fair? Because I just learned that out of 36 states, 29 governors are in one party, remaining only 7 in the other one. And I'm not saying anything, I'm just trying to let you know that if we can have a free and fair election. And before we know it, now one of the parties started jubilating. They've won. And people are saying, do you people really win this election? Or it was just I'm not saying it, but what I'm saying is my concern that if we cannot conduct free, fair, credible election in one place, which is the FCT, how can we conduct presidential election that is in 36 states, excluding FCT, which is 37? So that is my concern. Let's watch this clip where you see people already jubilating that one party has won, and I believe we're going to get more clips like this where they'll see them jubilating. We already know the results before we begin this whole thing. Please subscribe to my channel, put on your notification bell to be notified whenever I post a video here. And please share my video and drop your comment. See you in my next video. Bye from your sweetheart.